I think that I'm even more beatable as a heavyweight. And that's why I went to Dana White looking for a raise. Daniel Cormier got a raise when he went heavyweight. I was looking for a raise to go heavyweight. Francis Ngannou is scary. You know, there's a big chance that he could break my jaw. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that as a fighter. I've whooped enough ass that if someone eventually gets me, then we all have our day. I'm okay with that. But I think that shit comes with an increase of pay.
People are tuning in for the possibility that maybe Jon Jones is going to get beat.
Especially at heavyweight.
Why do you think you're more beatable at heavyweight?
More beatable at heavyweight? It's just simple. Guys, they hit so much harder. They hit so much harder. So the chances of getting knocked out is higher. But at the same time, I've been facing heavyweights for a long time, and I do really good against those guys. I'm surprisingly really strong, and I'm fast, and I just move well. My body mechanics move very well, so I think I can do things that they just don't do, and they just can't do.
Well, right, and if you look at what Stipe did to Ngannou, I mean, it's kind of a question of just getting through the first round with him, and then you just get so tired.
With Francis Ngannou, it's very simple. Get comfortable with the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is he knocks you the fuck out. He possibly fractures a bone in your face. That's the worst case scenario. You get real comfortable with that idea, and then it becomes easy. If he doesn't knock you out and break your face, you're smart, you're fast, you have a chin, you have great head movement. You know, you can wrestle. You can. There's a lot of ways things can play out. So I just think about the worst case scenario and get yourself mentally to a place where you're almost walking into that. Like, okay, I'm getting ready to go out there and this guy could possibly hurt me tonight. Okay, now that I've faced that, I've swallowed that, I'm sure you have the similar conversation before you jump off something. You're like, okay, this could go this way.
For sure.
So that's the way I look at it. It's like, yeah, Francis Ngannou is dangerous, yes. I believe that he has a chance to knock me the fuck out. Let's say that out loud. But if I don't get knocked out, I believe I win that fight. I just got to get through round one, and I win that fight.
What's up, guys? Just getting some conditioning work in with this man right here. Dustin Poirier is in the house at Shaw Strength. We're doing some fun content for you guys, so stay tuned. It's gonna be awesome. Why don't we do it like that? We'll cross this line with this in, and then we'll run around to this side, and then push it back. I feel like this is a good... Saw that one coming. Yeah.
So is it safe to say the next time you step foot in the octagon, it's either against Usman or Masvidal?
I can't say that it's safe to say that, Schmo. I'm here to put on a good, entertaining fight for the fans. And, I'm going to evaluate things when that fight happens. Everybody knows, the UFC hasn't told me, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory that I'm the backup guy. If anything happens, anybody gets COVID, anybody gets cold feet and pulls out of that fight, I'm showing up. That's right down the road for me. We're in Miami, Florida right now. That's 3.5 hours, 4-hour ride. I'll take a bus over to Jacksonville and I'll be showing up for that fight. I'll be there. So if anybody pulls out, I'll be stepping in and, we'll evaluate from there. I just want to put on good fights and capitalize on my prime of my career right now, which is what I'm in. So, we'll see what happens in a couple weeks.
They gonna have you weigh in, alternate?
I don't know. That's up to Dana White and Hunter Campbell. That's their decision. That's their business and what they want, but I'm staying ready. I have my weight ready to go. I'm training, preparing it like I am fighting April 24th for the world title. So, if they want me to weigh in, I'd love to weigh in. If not, it's okay. I'll be there in attendance and, I'll be ready to go in case anybody pulls out last minute.
The big news is Leon Edwards, who, as we know, just accidentally scratched the eyeball out of Bilal Muhammad, is now fighting not Bilal Muhammad in a rematch, fighting Nate Diaz in the co-main event, UFC 262, first 5-round co-main event. And I will say, respect to Nate Diaz, because as you say, he is a gigantic star and he can kind of pick and choose, you know, to a certain degree who he wants to fight. He's certainly got the power to turn anything down, of course. But he was after, you know, title fights, big fights, trilogies with McGregor, stuff like that. Yeah, to your point, I didn't expect him to take on a super dangerous guy like Leon Edwards. Now, of course, there's a lot to gain. If he goes out there and beats Leon Edwards, for sure he's getting a title fight next. That's a guarantee. So that's the little cherry on the cake for Nate Diaz. That's the risk reward. That's why he would do that. It's a fucking awesome fight. But Leon Edwards is probably going to have a very, very fun night at the office. I would have thought. I'm not saying Nate can't beat him, but you know, look at Nate when he went up and fought guys like Rory McDonald. You know, big guys at 170, true 170-pounders with clinical striking. I would make comparisons between Rory McDonald and Leon Edwards, just stylistically, the way they fight, their skill sets, how skilled they are, and their stature and their physical frame. For Nate Diaz, the strategy is not weather an early storm, because Leon Edwards isn't going to go out there in a blaze of glory, you know what I mean? But it's definitely the earlier rounds are probably going to favor Leon, and Nate's tough as fuck, and then he'll probably start taking over. Maybe, I would assume this is how it may go down. If you're Nate Diaz, in his mind, you know, he'll take over in the later rounds. So I think that favors Diaz the fight. Not favors. I don't mean, I'm just saying it's good for Diaz that it's 5 rounds as opposed to 3.